For years, let's be honest, the NBA All-Star Game felt kind of, well, broken. You had this incredible showcase of the world's best talent that had just completely lost its competitive fire. But this year, something changed. The league's biggest party finally found its purpose again, and we're gonna break down exactly how it all happened. You know, this quote right here, it gets to the absolute heart of the problem. Fans, analysts, everybody could see it. The players were on the court, sure, but they weren't really playing. And that criticism, it just got so loud that the league had absolutely no choice but to listen. So that criticism, it really brings us to the core issue. For what felt like forever, the All-Star Game was defined by a simple, really frustrating lack of effort. It had become a game with absolutely no stakes. Look, this was never about a lack of talent. Come on, you have the biggest names in the sport all on one floor. The problem was a collective decision to just not compete. No defense, no hustle. It was basically a glorified walkthrough that left fans feeling cold. And that was the problem the NBA had to figure out how to solve. So what did the NBA do? They completely changed the recipe. The league went back to the drawing board to engineer a brand new format, one specifically designed to manufacture some urgency and, force these players to actually care. So this new format, it had 3 key ingredients. First up, patriotism. Team USA versus Team World. I mean, nothing manufactures a rivalry quite like national pride, right? Then they created a generational clash, splitting the American players into youngs versus olds. And, so crucially, they shortened the games to just 12 minutes. There was no time to ease into it. You had to play hard right from the jump. It was a pretty brilliant plan, honestly. The whole architecture was there. But you can change the rules all you want. A great recipe doesn't mean anything if the chefs refuse to cook. The game still needed a spark. And that spark, it had a name. Victor Wembanyama, a rookie phenom who just walked into that arena and single-handedly decided to change the entire vibe of the weekend. Stephen A. Smith, man, he pinpointed it perfectly. Wembanyama wasn't just there to participate, he was there to send a message. That whole casual, kind of lazy history of the game, he was letting everybody know in no uncertain terms. That ends now. And he did it from the literal first second. He scored the first 5 points of the game. They ran an actual organized play right off the opening tip. I mean, have you ever seen that in an All-Star game before? He wasn't just playing, he was making a statement that this game was going to be taken seriously. But a spark is only a spark until it catches fire. Wembanyama, he lit the match, and to their credit, the other superstars on the floor, they fanned the flames, and they matched his intensity. And you heard it straight from the players themselves. Anthony Edwards, who ended up winning MVP, he said it flat out. The new format plus that initial spark, it made them compete. The message was received loud and clear. The result was just a night and day difference. Those lazy jogs back on defense, gone. Instead, you had players hustling, actually arguing with the refs over calls, and fighting for rebounds. It finally looked like a real basketball game again. And if you need any more proof that this new format worked, you just have to look at Kawhi Leonard, a guy who's famous for his reserved demeanor, for saving his energy for the playoffs, was out there playing like it was Game 7. He was absolutely sensational. And the numbers prove it. 31 points in one of those short 12-minute games. That's not just participating. That is pure, unfiltered domination from a player who rarely shows that in an exhibition game. That competitive fire, it was just contagious. All of a sudden, you've got De'Aaron Fox hitting clutch game winners, moments that only happen when the outcome genuinely matters to the guys on the floor. Even the Kim himself, LeBron James, he bought in completely. He was out there putting in real effort, playing with an intensity we have not seen from him in an All-Star game in years. And hey, when the most established veteran on the planet goes hard, everybody else has to follow suit. So after all that, did the NBA actually fix the All-Star game? Well, Kendrick Perkins couldn't have put it any better. You damn right they did. It was a resounding, undeniable success. But the story doesn't just end with one great weekend. The bigger question now is what this renewed fire really means for the rest of the season. See, this has a potential ripple effect that goes way beyond one weekend. This isn't just about an exhibition game anymore. That competitive energy could absolutely spill over into the championship race, especially in a Western Conference that is just completely wide open. And this is where it gets really fascinating. Perkins frames the entire narrative going forward. He wants to see Anthony Edwards take that MVP energy, that fire he showed, and channel it, to look at the other superstars and just decide to go take what's his. And so we're left with this question, right? Was this just a one-off? A perfectly executed experiment that gave us one great weekend of basketball? Or was it the spark that reignites old rivalries and launches new ones, ultimately changing the entire landscape of the fight for an NBA title? The second half of this season is about to tell us everything.